Ben and Johnny mocking him today is the best. Dude, this man is amazing. So basically, how I would describe this guy is a dude who's very, very smart, you know, when it comes to like stuff. Like, he has degrees like crazy. Like, he's a genius. And but he does not have the, what do you call it? The street smarts. You know what I mean? But he feels like he's better than everyone else because he has all those degrees. Yeah, but this man is just a very, very smart guy who thinks he's better than everyone.
Does the literature support your testimony on this?
Yes, the literature fully supports everything I just said. Okay. That interaction.
Okay, so I'm going to move to the cross because the cross is just amazing. So basically what he is, he's supposed to be a witness that testifies that he knows that Johnny has narcissistic traits and basically diagnoses him without even like actually meeting him or even talking to him. He's diagnosing him based on public view, which is utterly ridiculous. I don't think, yeah, he wasn't even qualified enough to testify as an IPV expert. Yeah, because he went through all this stuff about his practices, and he said, oh, we specialize in IPV. But the cross came up and he's like, no, you don't. That's not what you do. What are you talking about? And he's like, that's like a subsection, but you've never even written an article about IPV or even talked about IPV. He's like, yeah, but that IPV is just trauma. It correlates to trauma. It's like, that's not how it works. This man's the embodiment of mayonnaise. This guy reminds me of Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. So, Asmongold said this is adult ninja. And that is the best description. Like let's look at ninja. Like, bro. It's just old man ninja, dude. It's old man ninja. Probably argues with people about religion in YouTube comments.
Now, you indicated that you reviewed Mr. Depp's video depositions. Is that correct?
And also something he does, which is what every single witness that, you know what I've noticed is every single witness of Amber's looks directly at the jury every time they talk. However, when Johnny calls a witness, when Johnny team calls a witness, they're just like, you know, talking. Like, they're just like saying what they need to say and stuff like that. But every time one of our witnesses come up, they probably just like told him countless times, you got to look at the jury. You got to make him feel bad. He looks like an old Jim Carrey if one of his faces stuck. What is this?
I'm here.
Oh, what? Oh yeah, he looks like the mortician, right? Where is he at?
My mouth is dry.
Your mouth is dry. Go into the toilet and run your mouth under the sink.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. He looks like that news reporter bird from the Muppets. Dude.
Right. Kind of teaching.
All right. Anyway, he explains how smart he is for a while, and he talks about his practice. They approach a lot throughout this. Let's skip to the cross because I don't really care about him testifying. One thing I've noticed too is he's paid by the hour, and oh my God, he would like, look at this. We're 40 minutes in and we haven't even got to the cross. He doesn't stop talking. He literally does not stop talking. Okay, where are we? Okay, come on. It wasn't that long. God damn. There we go. All right, here's the good part.
Start with what you finished with. You understand that the court was twice asked by Ms. Heard's counsel to order a medical exam of Mr. Depp, and those motions were denied.
Well, I think your team told the court you didn't want to have them, and the court ruled on them, right? I don't think the court proactively did it. You kind of had a motion to them, right?
No. When Ms. Heard's lawyers moved for them.
Dude, that the cross-examiner is so good,
for
too.
them and did not get them. Isn't that
Ben's
right,
face,
sir?
Yeah.
If you're saying that's what happened, my understanding of was that you all did not want him to undergo one. They petitioned for it. The court said no. Yes, that's what my understanding of it was.
The court said no to ordering Mr. Depp to do the medical exam.
Right, I said the court did not require it, right.
And there was one that was ordered, in fact, right?
There was,
All right.
Sounds like he smokes 100 cigarettes a day. It is funny. Why did he make a face like he's 4 years old watching a magic trick? So, something I've noticed is when he talks, he goes, like he snorts up his nose and then licks really hard. Does that so much.
Who has that rule? What organization maintains that rule?
the American Psychiatric Association.
An association you're a member of?
Association that I'm a member of, yes.
Yeah. Aren't you a fellow or something?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, and this
Their
is an
back and
ethical
forth
rule,
is so
right?
good, though.
It is an ethical rule. And yes, it's ethical. They say rules. It's an ethical guideline. Yes, they're guidelines.
See how long he
And
talks?
You know that over time, the American Psychiatric Association has amended the rule so it's not just about diagnoses, but it's also about professional opinions.
Could you be more specifically say about professional opinion in regard to what?
Well, let me read this and see if you're familiar with it. It is unethical for a psychiatrist to offer a professional opinion about an individual based on publicly available information without conducting an examination. That's the rule, right?
If you're reading it directly, I will believe you.
Okay.
So,
However, a diagnosis is not required for an opinion to be professional. So my question is, it's not just diagnosis that this Goldwater rule applies to, it's professional opinions.
So again, I will reiterate that would come down to essentially nullifying
he has
witness
so
testimony.
much attitude
Expert
throughout.
witness testimony without direct evaluation. And as we know, it didn't happen. But regardless of that, the whole expert witness testimony thing would be basically rendered null and void.
The rule, in fact, contemplates that issue, doesn't it, sir?
Again,
I'm paid per
I'm
word,
just
so I have
telling
to
you the answer
vomit as
the
much
question.
info
When
as
you're reading
possible,
me
yeah.
those statements, I'm telling you the response by the other side, who publishes also, is that if that was the case, there could be no expert witness testimony in the courtroom.
Psychiatrists are ethically prohibited from evaluating individuals without permission or other authorization, such as a court order. That's the rule, right?
Yeah, he was getting
Again,
paid something
if
like
you're reading
$600
that,
an hour.
then
Yeah,
I have to believe you're not misrepresenting it. And I would come back to, again, then this
I mean, that
whole
is
thing about
unethical.
we might as well get rid of all the expert witnesses we've had throughout all of time for court proceedings. Because what you're saying is unless a court orders it,
See how much
that's what you just
attitude
said,
the guy
okay,
has?
they said, then therefore expert witnesses cannot do an evaluation based on an observation of the medical records. Insurance companies cannot do evaluations solely based on the medical record where their doctors rendering professional opinions. So at the end of the day, you are essentially saying that unless someone has directly evaluated it, this whole medical system we have, this whole legal system.
the Queen is going to knight Johnny after the case is over. I have trouble believing that. I'm going to look that up. I feel like you're lying on that. Queen Elizabeth to announce knighthood for hero Johnny Depp after Amber Heard trial. That's a thing. Oh, that's a thing. That's a thing. Do you got to go potty, buddy? What are you doing? You want to go potty? What's my favorite lunch meat? Ass. Oh, sorry, buddy. Okay.
We have is null and void.
I'm not saying.
No, yes, you are, sir. No, you are.
Well, give me a second, and I'll give you more than a second.
Oh, God, I love this guy.
Saying, and what I am reading to you, is a rule by your organization that takes into account that there could be court orders that would permit the exact kind of evaluation that you say I'm eliminating.
And I think we're going in circles because I think I just said that means expert witness testimony would not be allowed, and the branch of forensic psychiatry would be especially hindered. And we know the branch of forensic psychiatry does not prohibit that. So I am a member of the APA. That doesn't necessarily mean every single thing they put in there, everybody has to uncategorically agree with, because clearly that's not the case.
Did you agree in your deposition that the professional opinions you rendered were inconsistent with the Goldwater rule?
Yeah. My first was inconsistent. If we're saying that if the Goldwater rule says, and I very much said that during deposition, that the Goldwater rule was made for presidents and public figures such as that, but regardless of that, because that's what it was made for. It's not made for Hollywood, but I'll even take that Mr. Depp's a public figure.
God, this guy, he's amazing,
What I'm
dude.
saying to you is that the Goldwater rule is saying we cannot do any expert witness testimony in our field. That is exactly what the Goldwater rule is saying based on exactly what you read. And I'm just telling you what you are saying that rule encompasses.
What I'm asking you, sir, is did you comply with the ethical requirements of the APA when rendering the professional opinions that you've rendered today?
It is a requirement of the APA. It is not the requirement of the APA. Secondarily,
so the answer is no.
Secondarily, again, in order
He's
to
so
not,
mad, dude.
we waste our whole morning because of an expert witness before me. There's an expert witness everyone brought in. So all I'm saying to you, that means the whole field.
Chat, you didn't remind me of the sound effects. Damn it.
Of medical legal law is corrupt and unethical for engaging in an act that the APA clearly says we should not do. So if you're saying that, then the answer is yes, I'm agreeing with that
Yes,
statement.
I did. I don't believe you. You didn't remind me today, did
You're agreeing
you?
that the APA would deem your testimony and your professional opinions rendered unethical.
I'm saying you are saying that I'm an expert witness. I'm saying as an expert witness.
Oh my God.
And solely as an expert witness. That guideline is permitting that from occurring. I would say then that the whole field of expert witness testimony,
dancing around these. He's skipping around these questions, bro.
By what you are quoting in the Goldwater rule, and we know that's not the case, because if it was, we would not be allowed to do it.
And you said the rule was for presidents, right? And
that was initially for presidents, yes.
Well, and the name of the rule came from that. But the rule says it is unethical for a psychiatrist to offer a professional opinion about an individual. That's right, sir. It's not just presidents, it's not public figures, it's individuals.
Funny, it was named after according to your logic, if you don't put something in the title, it's not true. That's what you told me this morning, I believe, at my intimate partner violence. So what I would say to you then, sir, is that if you say this about an individual.
Okay, so what that was a callback. So for those who missed the trial yesterday, because I didn't want to go over the entire just regular testifying. He in the beginning was supposed to be an IPV witness and intimate partner like violence guy. However, the cross examiner, I don't remember his name, but he came up and absolutely annihilated his expert witness status from that. So he could not speak on IPV because of that. And he's so salty about it because what he said is he told him that, you wrote all these articles, not a single one had IPV in the title or, was talking about IPV. And so that's basically, long story short, how he got taken off as an expert witness for IPV. What have you heard so far? God damn it.
Again, any court would have to render an expert witness testimony invalid. Any doctor that reviews charts would have to render it invalid.
Yeah, this is literally two Twitter Andys going at it right now.
They interview patients directly, and that's a violation. So basically, you are saying that unless you do a direct clinical evaluation, then all of the field of forensic psychiatry and all of managed care is doing an unethical violation because we are not seeing the presence. We deny patients medications all the time without seeing them. We deny patients treatments, unfortunately, without seeing them. And I'm on the receiving end of that.
His hair's falling out as we speak.
So to answer your question, again,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his hairline is receded since this has started.
Unless you were saying to me that all of this is unethical, which is what you are saying. This is how I'm interpreting what you are saying to me. That unless you do the evaluation directly yourself.
Look at Johnny, dude.
Therefore, it could not be considered ethical. And
He's
I'm
giving
telling
him
you
a
how
death
that's
stare.
applicable to not just expert law, but also managed care. It's applicable to multiple branches of medicine. Hospital duration of hospitalization stay, they get evaluated. So tell me where you want me to end this.
Well,
Sir.
why don't we talk about?
He didn't even answer the question.
What
He just started ranting, dude.
just testified to, because I didn't ask you anything about that. I asked you whether, under this rubric, under this principle of medical ethics, have you acted unethically? Yes or no?
No. As an expert witness, I have not acted unethically. And if you want the jury to believe that expert witnesses are unethical.
Well, yeah. Okay. So again, I'll reiterate for those who are either just came in or are new to the trial. Basically, his whole testimony is the fact that he is diagnosing Johnny Depp's mental status from public opinion and or like public documents and public things, but he has not met Johnny. He has not had a diagnosis of like a one-on-one of Johnny. So he's literally, all of his testimony is completely stupid because you can't diagnose someone just from not even meeting him, from not even talking to him. You can't diagnose them. You can't do that. And it is true. It is unethical to do that. You can't just, without having some sort of one-on-one with them, you can't diagnose them. It's literally impossible. So they're bringing him in and making him have a testimony. He's just stupid, and that's what they're doing right now. They're just basically saying that everything you said doesn't matter because you can't have a professional opinion on it if you have not talked to him or had him as a patient.
Ethical, then I guess that's for them to decide.
Yes or
That's
no,
for them
sir.
to
You
decide.
said no. Let's go to the next question.
Okay.
Right?
God damn, dude,
Psychiatric
he's so
diagnosis
mad.
occurs in the context of an evaluation based on thorough history-taking, examination, and where applicable, collated or collateral information. You'll agree with that?
I believe I said that earlier, yes.
Yeah. And it's a departure from the methods of the profession to render an opinion without an examination and without conducting an evaluation in accordance with the standards of psychiatric practice, correct?
Well, again, by the way, for the record, intimate partner violence is not a psychiatric diagnosis. I'll start with that. Substance usage by themselves is not a psychiatric diagnosis. If you want to cut to the chase, psychiatric use is not a diagnosis of that. Narcissistic
even he's
personality
laughing over
traits
there.
is not a diagnosis. Ergo, I am basically commenting on the things that were brought to me, which are not diagnosis. But an evaluation.
But he is
if I was
saying
going to treat a
that
patient
Johnny Depp
or
has
anyone
narcissistic
here,
traits.
those are the steps I would take.
We, I think, started with the
Get this
notion
guy
that
out of
this
here,
rule
bro. He
applies
doesn't leave.
broader
He
than
stays
diagnosis.
for another hour.
Applies to
Yo, thank you, G Sketchbook, for the 100 bits.
This is the first time I had ever watched you stream. I found you on YouTube and watched every single video.
Hell yes.
Hi.
Welcome. Welcome.
Professional opinions.
I believe you
you've
just
rendered
quoted
professional opinions relative to narcissistic personality traits, haven't you, sir? Relative to Mr. Depp.
Again, I believe you just commented on what it
Yeah, I
takes to
saw
do
the
a
clip of
psychiatric
Ben staring
evaluation
down
to
Amber.
establish a diagnosis. I'm almost certain that's what you said. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you didn't say that. But I'm sure you did. And therefore, what I'm saying
So
is
maybe
neither
he's wrong,
IPV,
but he's sure.
nor substance usage, nor narcissistic personality traits a psychiatric diagnosis. And then under the rubric of expert witness testimony, you are saying I acted on
Yeah, he's
under the
very
rubric of
arrogant. I
expert
love
witness
it. I love this
testimony.
guy,
So
dude.
if you,
He's
sir,
so
would like
good.
to proceed that expert witnesses are unethical, based on that, I am not going to sit here and disagree with you and waste everyone's time. I think it's fairly obvious. So thank you. Go ahead. These were your words. I'm just saying them back how they're interpreted.
He's so mad,
Okay.
dude. Oh my God.
Let's start with the easy question then. maybe we can.
That was pretty easy. Go ahead.
All right, Doctor, you're going to have to just answer the questions.
Okay. Sorry about that. Getting into it.
You need to just answer the questions,
Okay.
Dr. Speaker.
The fucking judge tells him to calm down, dude. Oh, it's so good. At least he's admitting, like, he's like, I'm just getting into it, you know? The judge really called him out right there.
You are not rendering any diagnosis whatsoever of Mr. Depp today or ever.
His facial expressions. Okay, so he literally just said he's not giving a diagnosis. And then when he says, so you aren't giving a diagnosis, then he's like, oh shit, you caught me there. Oh shit, you got me.
No, I probably would say to you that certainly I would not say narcissistic personalities, or I would say traits. Certainly from what I have read, intimate partner violence is not a diagnosis. So the answer is no for that. Narcissistic personality traits is not a diagnosis.
So he came there to give a diagnosis,
But tell me that
but
substance use
he doesn't
disorder
have a diagnosis.
is a psychiatric diagnosis. The answer is yes.
But that wasn't an issue.
He literally just said he didn't do a diagnosis.
Was it whether Mr. Depp used substances? I mean, you said you've gone through
Is
the
he the
record.
crypt keeper? I think
wasn't
so.
really an issue at this trial. He's said it from day one.
Oh, so you're saying he's already admitted to the diagnosis?
He's already admitted to the use of the substances.
Well, again, there's a difference between admitting to substance use and substance use disorder.
Let's go back to what you just said about narcissistic personality traits.
Yes.
Narcissistic personality disorder is a DSM-5 diagnosis, correct?
Correct.
Why does his hair look like he just woke up? What do you mean? He styled that shit.
And you haven't testified that Mr. Depp has narcissistic personality disorder, have you?
I would certainly, if I didn't, I'm certainly thinking that, but at least I'm going to say he has traits, which are characteristics of
He just
provisional
answer it.
diagnosis.
Just answer it, bro.
It's a provisional
You
diagnosis
can't.
of probably narcissistic
You
personality.
can't.
But yeah, I mean, I do believe that.
You
Well,
can't.
When you say provisional diagnosis, you know the DSM-5 requires, in order to find that diagnosis, 5 of the 9 factors. Mm-hmm. And you haven't done that analysis. You've never made that diagnosis.
I kept laughing
You've
at Johnny's
just
reaction.
identified
Just
certain
wait.
factors.
The end is so sad. It's so funny.
That
dude.
are criteria for the diagnosis.
Right. But you need 5 of 9 to get to the diagnosis. You've already told us that you didn't make a diagnosis. You're just identifying traits, correct?
I'm identifying traits that are consistent with the diagnosis, yes.
Right.
Yeah. So, dude, he keeps like trying to talk his way out of it, man.
And did you testify in deposition that the existence of traits, as opposed to the disorder, doesn't have a correlation with IPV?
If I said traits do not have a correlation with the, if that's what I said, and I don't remember saying that, but that wouldn't be a correct saying. Narcissism has a correlation with the diagnosis.
Because
Yes,
he can't
part's
say
true.
that because
All
that
right,
would
how
be
far
bad
are we
for
gonna back this
Amber.
up? Because there's a diagnosis
Why would he say that? That would be
of
bad for Amber.
narcissistic personality disorder, right?
Yes, sir.
And that one is tied, has some
Look at
correlation
him.
with IPV, right?
He's stressing, bro.
Narcissism has
He's
correlation
stressing.
with IP. Again, sir, you're not allowing me to answer. You're splitting hairs. You're splitting hairs
I
between
think he's the one who's
traits that
splitting
are
hairs.
consistent with, which all I'm commenting on is behaviors and traits that are consistent with the diagnosis. And Mr. Depp,
Yeah, he's scared.
narcissism
He is definitely
absolutely
scared.
has risk factors associated with IPV.
He would
Let's
know
go
about
back
split
again.
hairs, wouldn't he?
And maybe we can focus on the
that's
question
good.
I ask you, and we can get an answer that's addressed to that question. Narcissistic personality disorder is a risk factor for IPV, yes or no?
Yes.
And you've previously testified that there is no literature at which you are currently aware that the mere presence of narcissistic traits is a risk factor for IPV.
Am I answering the question?
Yes.
That's incorrect.
You didn't testify to that.
A cluster B traits which narcissistic personality disorder is part of,
Oh my
is a
God.
huge risk factor.
Johnny isn't the narcissist here. Just wait. Just wait. Because the entire time I watched this, because by the way, I did already watch some of this. I didn't watch all of it. But when I was watching it, the entire time he was saying this, like, isn't this exactly what Amber Heard has? Like, hasn't she actually been diagnosed as narcissistic? You know, Johnny hasn't. He hasn't been diagnosed. But Amber has. Amber has.
For intimate partner violence, which include cluster B traits, include
Cluster B traits.
narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial
Yeah, he's
personality
ninja.
disorder.
Yeah, he's
amongst
ninja in
others.
30
So the
years.
answer to the question is
See?
every resource on intimate partner violence will support that cluster B traits where
Cluster
narcissistic
B?
personality falls
Cluster
under
B
is a risk
cluster B
factor
traits.
for intimate partner violence.
Any single trait is a risk factor for IPV.
Again, I will repeat, cluster B traits. I didn't say any trait. I said cluster. No, you
Oh,
said
let me be more precise then.
okay.
Any narcissistic trait in and of itself is a risk factor for IPV.
But you are mischaracterizing what I said. What I said, I'm pretty sure I said cluster.
Oh, man.
If you look at all the intimate partner violence
What's up,
literature,
Rofasa? Welcome.
it would behoove you to do so. You will see that cluster,
Cluster B traits could be a
B
guy's name at this
traits. I didn't say narcissistic per se. Cluster B traits, where narcissistic personality disorder is part of, are risk factors for intimate partner violence, part and parcel uniform.
No, Amber was diagnosed with borderline and historic personality disorder. I wouldn't be surprised if she did have some. No, she was diagnosed with narcissism as well, narcissistic disorder. Yeah, she definitely was. Yeah, she had borderline personality disorder as well. What is happening, phone? Oh my God. Dear Lord, stop. Yeah, she was diagnosed with narcissism.
Formally true. And I'm not sure.
Let me skip a little bit because I want to get to something else before we get to the actual trial. I want to get to one more
perfection
thing.
for my victims. Two, absolutely there were cluster B traits Ms. Heard had. Absolutely, Ms. Heard had.
Given that you've testified to it before, let's move.
There were one, and I'll tell you what they are. And by the way, both those cluster B things are. I'm not allowed to comment on the testing.
Did I miss the good part?
All I can say is that cluster B traits, and I'll tell you what they are. And
Cluster
by the
B
way,
traits.
I testified this before, which was that. One, I don't expect perfection from
Who
my
is cluster B
victims.
traits and why is he so important?
Absolutely, there were cluster
We
B
keep
traits
talking
Ms.
about
Heard
this
had.
guy. I don't know.
Absolutely, Ms. Heard had
Given that you've testified to it before, let's move on to a new question.
Okay.
All right. You indicated, in your opinion today, that you thought, well, why don't we move a little differently? Are you a member of the American Medical Association?
No.
Okay, so you don't know what the ethical rule of the American Medical Association is relative to doing clinical diagnoses about individuals you've never talked to.
I love
So
Cluster
you're
B
saying
Traits'
they're
new
doing
album.
expert witness
Dude,
evaluations.
that sounds like a good band name, Cluster B Traits. Yeah, you're right. That does sound like a shitty cereal name, Cluster B Traits.
Under that rubric, right?
I'm just asking you, do you know the AMA's rule?
You're saying the AMA's ruling under the rubric of not doing valid with someone you did not see, and I'm questioning, I'm asking, so you are talking about expert witness testimony.
No, I'm talking about, do you know the rule?
I'm not a member of the AMA, so I don't read the rubric.
We can move on. You don't know the rule.
My God.
All right. You
He just
rendered an
doesn't
opinion
stop.
about Mr. Depp's purported cognitive impairment.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you use as a baseline?
A baseline
By
for
the desk,
processing
it's
speed?
under the desk.
Yeah, for analyzing Mr. Depp before you watched his deposition.
Yes. Yeah.
What do I use a baseline for that? Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my baseline would probably be how I've seen him interact in
He's
public.
comfy in here.
How I've seen him interact with others. I've seen him interact in media. I've seen him interact and his process speed is certainly not slow. I've seen him do commercials. His process speed was not slow.
At deposition, didn't you say that what you did was compare Mr. Depp's performance in lots of pirate movies against his deposition testimony here?
What I said was I've seen Mr. Depp do apology ads. I remember he did an apology ad with Bad Dog with no delay in process speed. I've seen him interact with the media regarding to that. I saw no delay in processing speed. All I'm saying.
Let me ask you about pirates, though. You compared pirates to the to the depositions given in this case.
Then I apologize for what I said.
So he saw him act.
Then I misspoke.
Dude, he's owning up to it. He knows he has nowhere to go on that. He knows he can't talk himself out of that. Let me ask you about pirates.
You didn't make the comparison?
Okay, I'm gonna scoot through this a little bit more. So the best part is at the end. I'm gonna scoot through this because I want to get to one more thing before the live trial starts. So there's this part. So basically, one of their testimonies was, thank you so much, Vector Collector, for the Prime. I appreciate it. There was one of these testimonies that said that Johnny Depp had earbuds in while he was acting, and he was being fed lines because he was so intoxicated or so messed up that he couldn't remember his lines. And I forget the relevance of that because I'm pretty sure everyone knows that Johnny Depp does drugs and gets drunk. Thank you, High Lord Aaron, for the 5. Hi guys, what's up? We're watching the trial. But anyway, later on, it was basically revealed that it was a rehearsal, and he had his earbuds in because it was like a rehearsal. Also, there was another thing that said he could have easily just been listening to music during a rehearsal or something like that. But basically, they were trying to say that Johnny Depp's mind is all messed up. And they keep pushing the Johnny Depp does drugs, which is like, bro, we know. Like, that shouldn't even be talked about anymore. We are aware that he drinks and he does drugs. And they keep adding more testifying people. They have more people testifying that, but I don't understand why. Like, every person who testifies keeps talking about drugs because that's the only thing they have. But let me, is at the butt end. Right here. I just want to watch this part. This part's so good.
No, he was, but red he was. And that may have been that example. Mr. Wyatt may have said that it was music. I guess the question is, were you having the music?
This is about the earbuds.
During the actual talking of your lines? Is that what you're saying to me?
Well, if you can do two things at once, that's a pretty high cognitive function, isn't it, sir?
It's a very good point, actually. Divided attention is something humans have a lot of trouble in. So, for instance, we have trouble driving and putting on the, using our
oh my God,
cell
no
phones
one cares.
direct. So, divided attention humans actually are not very good at. I'll put that out there.
But
in general, not just Mr. Depp. In general,
but Mr. Depp is pretty good at acting. You acknowledge that early on.
Absolutely, well, better than me. So I know that.
Because you don't act. In fact, you don't know about acting.
You're right. I have no idea about acting.
And you don't know how prevalent the use of earpieces are in acting.
Again, I know nothing about acting.
He's testifying about his narcissistic traits, and one of his talking points is something he literally just said he knows zero about. So, because one of his talking points was in an article that he saw, Johnny Depp had earbuds in, and the article was talking about how he's so messed up that he needs his lines fed to him constantly, and he used that as like a diagnosis.
Irrespective of the fact you know nothing about
even
acting,
though he knows nothing about acting.
Mr. Depp's use of an earpiece is somehow a cognitive deficit?
So if I was giving a lecture and I was fed my lines, I would think there's a cognitive deficit. So and maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe Hollywood stars
Maybe
get
I'm wrong.
lines fed to them through earpieces.
We've heard
all
that
the
a
time,
lot.
and I don't
We've
know.
heard that a lot. Maybe I'm wrong.
That could be. It sounded to me to be unusual if you're doing a movie and you don't know the lines. But like you said,
What's he's an expert
I'm just
on?
judging
I'm
it on what I do with
confused.
lectures, and that would never
I think
happen.
it's like a
If you gave
psychologist
lectures, you wouldn't
or
use an earpiece, but
something like that.
You're not going to tell anybody how to act.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I said if you gave lectures, you wouldn't use an earpiece, but you're not telling anybody how to act.
Right, I would not use an earpiece during lectures.
Right.
But I don't know what the standard for standard is Hollywood is for that. I have no idea.
then why are you testifying on it?
Your testimony about the use of an
Psychiatrist.
earpiece.
That's what I was thinking of.
As maybe you were wrong. You're comfortable with the fact that you may have made a mistake there?
No, because I think in the basis of what I've read about it, I'm comfortable that I don't believe that actors are routinely given their entire
Looks like the
script
eagle from the
through
Muppets.
earpieces. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah,
But-
and
but-
not one whit of evidence that this ever happened here.
I guess what I said.
You know what's funny? On Asmongold's stream, there was someone sent a picture it was on Twitter of this guy. It was a review of his firm, of his psychiatrist firm, and it was a review that basically said that he pushed their dad to suicide, which obviously, you know, take that with a grain of salt. It's a review. It could be like someone's dad, regardless, would have done it anyway, and they're just blaming the practice. But it was very interesting to see that, you know, within context of what he's talking about.
Said I find it hard to believe. I didn't say it happened.
He's drinking piss, yes.
That's all I said.
Oh, yeah, but what you found hard to believe, sir, was that every line of the script was
Look
pumped
at those
through an
lips,
earpiece.
dude. What those lips
Where did
do.
you ever get the idea that occurred?
That's what I have been. That's what I read.
Some mega
court
pint
review,
of
court
piss.
evidence. That's where I got it from.
Right. And you know whether Marlon Brando used an earpiece?
Isn't he dead?
Yeah.
So the answer is no. He does not use one now.
Oh, no, I used the past tense, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There it is. There it is, dude. There it fucking is. Isn't he dead?
I know nothing. I will concede to you, I know nothing about acting. I will concede to you 100%. If that is the standard and people are done that's acting, then I apologize and that was wrong.
Wait, let's run that back. Let's run that back one more time. Let's run that back one more time.
You know whether Marlon Brando used an earpiece?
Isn't he dead?
Yeah.
So the answer is no. He does not use one now.
Oh, no, I used the past tense, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know nothing.
Have you seen the Willy Wonka question? Do you have a timestamp? Yeah, I saw the Willy Wonka question. Damn it. Where's it? I don't remember if it was like in the beginning or near the end. Dude, guys, if you were to watch the entirety of it, you should, man. It's so good. I wanted to just like review it and you know, do a little recap because the live is I think it's going to start somewhat soon. But the what question? Yeah. Wait, I wonder if I could just look it up. Isn't he dead? Willy Wonka question, Johnny Depp. Let me see if they just got it. Yes.
I misspoke.
Okay.
Dude, these fucking meme channels, man. Just adding Wii music in the background, putting their giant watermark there. Man.
Because you know you can't compare
His name is Trollface.
pirates to sworn testimony, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But you can, but as an aside, you can judge someone's processing speed at any time. Like I'm judging yours right now, you're judging mine. We all judge processing speed as a baseline because of what we know about each other. And I would say your processing speed right now is not slow. So, I mean, we're judging processing speed. I'm just saying to you.
Yeah. But no, any of Mr. Depp's other portrayals in movies, did that affect your analysis of processing speed?
Only I've seen him interact on interviews, and that was it.
Right.
When he wasn't in movies.
Right. But
So he hasn't
Willy
seen any of
Wonka
his
doesn't
movies.
matter to you? You see him in that movie, Charlie and Chocolate Factory? Did you look at that one when you were comparing his processing speed?
Do I have to answer that question, Your Honor?
You have to answer questions. Yes, sir.
No, you'll be happy to know I didn't see Willy Wonka I didn't see 21 Jump Street when it happened.
21
No, I did not.
All right. You made a very kind admission.
He did not want to answer that question. Just his like when he let's roll that back. Let's roll that back.
Do I have to answer that
Like what the fuck? Let me go back one more time. Let's look at the. Look at Johnny's face. He's just like, is this guy? Is he okay? Is he broken? Is this guy all right?
Do I have to answer that question, Your Honor?
Oh my God.
You have to answer questions. Yes, sir.
No, you'll be happy to know I didn't see Willy Wonka I didn't see 21 Jump Street when it happened, or whatever it was about. No.
All right. That one was good.
Now it's time to walk away. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Did you laugh or cry or maybe subscribed? I'll thank you either way. You know I will miss you. I hope you return. Tell your friend or your mother to get me more views, please.